The president wasn't always supposed to be this powerful. You see, over the last 80 years or so, the checks and balances that were originally put in place to limit the president's power have slowly been eroded without anyone really noticing, and perhaps only now is everyone starting to realize there's perhaps no limit to the president's imperial authority. Today it's difficult to fathom the fact that during the world wars, presidents like Wilson and FDR, as much as they wanted to join the wars, they couldn't because they needed the approval of Congress and by extension the people as well. This is no longer true. The founding fathers, particularly Madison, worked very hard to design a governmental system where the executive branch, the president, is kept in check by the other two branches. In theory, each branch would have the same amount of power, so if one was ever to go rogue, the other two could keep it in check. 200 years later, the presidency has clearly emerged as the strongest of the three branches. How did this happen? Well, one of the main reasons I want to talk about is military necessity. The post-World War II world saw a new reality filled with nuclear weapons, which could destroy civilizations within minutes, and with the idea of mutually assured destruction, there is no time to get congressional approval to strike back. The president needs to be able to respond immediately, and it's not just hypothetical nuclear war where the president has monarchical-like power. Ever wondered how America defends its allies and interests in war as a global superpower without congressional approval on every single intervention? Well, at Korea and Vietnam, presidents set the precedent that you can simply start a war by simply using semantics and calling a war a policing action. And more recently, in 2006, a new Congress was elected based on the people's desire to exit an unpopular war, and yet George W. Bush was able to outmaneuver Congress with his executive authority. And even more recently, in 2008, Obama aired this new reality for everyone to see by proclaiming that he did not need Congress's permission to strike Syria, and only seemingly asked for congressional approval as a form of diplomatic theatre. And perhaps it's even more clear in today's day and age that we're perhaps in another period where even more checks and balances are being eroded by presidential authority. And if you're okay with it, I would ask you, how would you feel if these new powers were in the hands of a president you detested?